In 1991, India's economy was opening to the world. Liberalization brought a flood of foreign investment, but it also exposed a massive technological void across the country. Foreign corporations had the software, but they lacked a way to implement it. They needed partners who could manage complex engineering while navigating the specific cultural and administrative terrain of the Indian market. In a sweltering tea stall near Jadavpur University, 5 friends realized they were the exact solution to that national bottleneck. They built a machine out of their combined expertise. Shekhar provided the vision, Kiran handled the architecture, Kabir brought the connections, Priya managed the math, and Vimal executed the engineering. They called it NovaBridge Systems. They launched with exactly 80,000 rupees. In terms of overhead, that gave them a razor-thin 4-month runway before the money ran out. This was their reality in 1992, cramped offices and bulky CRT monitors. They survived by outworking the clock, grinding through hardware installations and manual software integration to stay ahead of their own burn rate. NovaBridge was a precisely engineered bridge, designed to capture the momentum of a once-in-a-generation economic shift. By 1994, the scale changed. A logistics conglomerate contracted them to digitize operations across 5 states. Priya's modeling showed a binary outcome. If they delivered, they'd scale exponentially. If they failed, the company would collapse instantly. After 4 hours of debate, Vimal gave his personal guarantee. The team committed entirely to the vertical climb. The payoff was immediate. They flawlessly delivered the system and used the revenue to expand here in Delhi. They were now a multi-city operation with 34 employees. By 1995, they eyed a massive partnership in Singapore. Shekhar was at his peak, flying constantly and meticulously reviewing clauses to secure their global future. In the Salt Lake City office, the mood was certain. They had checked every timeline and every number. The deal was essentially done. The small project starting in a tea stall had become a mathematical trajectory toward global dominance. On April 3, 1995, a car accident on the highway near Durgapur put Shekhar into a coma. The company's momentum stopped instantly. There were no triumphant handshakes in Singapore. The partnership was quietly shelved and then abandoned in an empty office. The team shifted in a single day. They went from planning a global expansion to a total frozen state of maintenance. The founders were left with a devastating question. How does a perfectly calibrated machine function when its central engine is gone? That corporate void was filled by Shekhar's wife, Seetha. Though she had no official title, she stepped into the boardroom to represent the seat her husband could no longer occupy. Every month, Seetha sat at the table and filled these ledgers with meticulously recorded minutes. She was writing for a man 30 years away. Her presence changed the company's objective. They were no longer building for revenue or market share. They were holding a structure together. The other founders abandoned aggressive growth plans to keep the servers running and Shekhar's place secure. They maintained this pattern for 6 years. Seetha recorded 73 meetings in these books before a 2001 global market crash forced the company to close. NovaBridge finally dissolved, but it left behind a stack of 73 unread notebooks. The founders had spent 6 years maintaining a business for a man who couldn't read the files, proving the company was ultimately held together by a loyalty that the spreadsheets couldn't track.